appreciate your accommodating the change in schedule. And I would like to thank each of you for being here and welcome each of you to Joy Global's surface mining business facility here at National Avenue, where we manufacture P&H mining equipment. I'm Sean Major, Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Joy Global, and it is my high honor to welcome Governor Scott Walker and many of our distinguished senators and assemblymen to our facility. I also want to add a warm welcome to our visitors from around the state who are here to witness this important event, one that offers a bright economic future to Wisconsin citizens. This is quite an occasion for Joy Global and our P&H brand. Our company was founded here in Milwaukee in 1884, and we have manufactured mining equipment since 1893. The P&H branded mining equipment is well known in the mining industry for exceptional value, world-class quality, and rugged reliability. While we export our equipment to mines around the world, the American Iron Range is one of our particular pride and joys, as our equipment works there 24/7 to help support the steel industry. Today, we are proud to see a future for our equipment in the Wisconsin Iron Range, and we eagerly look forward to the prospect of commissioning one or more of our shovels in northern Wisconsin. This future is only possible because of the hard and earnest work of our governor and the members of the legislature, many of whom are with us today. The bill that is to be signed today is a bright economic light for Wisconsin's future. Accordingly, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our governor, Scott Walker.
First off, it is great to be back. As I mentioned, I've been here plenty of times before. I've talked about mining, I've talked about touring. I live just down the way, and on many a day when I'm not here, I'm picking up some Sonic food for one of my kids who likes going here down the way as well. So it's good to be back in the metropolitan area, and it's particularly good to be back at Joy Global. We're pleased to be back, and I apologize for being late. I should bring that up. It was not intended. I had to choose, and I hope you don't mind the choice I made. At 4 o'clock, I had about 200 men and women from the 115th Air Fighter Wing based in Madison who were returning home from deployment, and I didn't want to make their families wait for 2 hours while I signed this bill. I figured you all wouldn't mind waiting a little bit for me so that their families could see them sooner, so that's why we flipped things. And I'm still kind of warming up from that, because I stood at the bottom of the airplane and welcomed every one of them off the plane before we greeted them all in. So. In a way, it fits very much in what we're doing. And in fact, I love the flag. I know we've got a lot of folks, a lot of lawmakers who are here with us, who are part of this. Tom Tiffany joined me in Rhinelander and then joined the rest of the crew here. Mark Honnedy, I know there's a long list of folks, but I particularly want to single out Tom Tiffany, who is our Senate lead author, and Mark Honnedell, who's been championing this for quite some time in southeastern Wisconsin. And as they, and those of you here have heard me talk about, we talked about before, a number of operating engineers and carpenters and others who stood with me at the podium back when we talked about this in January and made a call for passing a bill to streamline the process for safe and environmentally sound mining in the state. The statewide chamber, Kurt and Scott did so much, so many others did so much. It's been a great partnership. But it's appropriate, if you indulge me for one moment, to make the connection from where I just came from and where we're here today. You see the flag up there? You've all heard me talk about this before. I'm going to touch on it for just a second. But the interesting thing is that flag is 150 years old this year. In 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, the soldiers fighting from Wisconsin, some 91,000 strong, in a state that was only 775,000 people at the time. 91,000 strong, meaning 1 out of every 9 man, woman, or child in the state fought in the Civil War. Those soldiers asked for something to fight with, along with the stars and stripes of this country. They asked for a flag from Wisconsin, and we sent them that flag. It didn't say Wisconsin 1848 at the time. That didn't come till the 70s. It was just a blue flag with the coat of arms that seal the state of Wisconsin you see on there. So in many ways it fits in with where I was at today, because I said it's proud of that proud tradition of folks who've served our country from Wisconsin, be it in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and now in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo, and elsewhere. But it also ties into why we're here about both our heritage and, more importantly, about our future. Because as I pointed out before, on that seal, there are two people. The person on the right is a miner. Up in the upper right-hand corner of that shield itself are the tools of a miner. And so all of you get extra credit to impress your friends and family tonight when you go back home or wherever else you're going the next couple of days. If you look at the top, underneath our motto, forward, what is that just underneath there? It's a Badger. Now, we're the Badger State not because the great basketball team that just won along with Marquette over the weekend that are both going to be great in the March Madness in the tournament. It's not because of there's a lot of Badger animals in this state, because as a hunter I know that. I'm glad I don't run into them, because I've never run into one, and if I did I'd be pretty scared, because Badgers don't like running into people, particularly in close confines. We're the Badger State because our ancestors who came to southwestern Wisconsin, or what's now southwestern Wisconsin, long before we became a state in 1848, came here to mine. You know, we're in Platteville where there's the M on the side for the mining college. They came here to mine, and others who found them at the time, the others who were living in Wisconsin, or what was then pre-Wisconsin, nicknamed them the Badgers because they literally dug in the side of the mounds where the deposits were, and before they had enough resources to build their own homes out of wood, they threw canvas over the top and lived there until they were up and ready to go, and they were nicknamed the Badgers. If there's any state in America that should be able to streamline the process for safe and environmentally sound mining, shouldn't it be the Badger State? And so today, I couldn't be more pleased. We talked about this 2 months ago at the State of the State. I was pleased to have, again, a number of the folks who are with me here today and others who were with me up earlier in Rhinelander stand with us on the stage. And one of the best things, the best compliments I got out of the speech didn't come from me, it got from the people who were standing with me. And what folks told me the next day, they said, Governor, what we loved about the fact that you had operating engineers and you had mill workers and you had carpenters standing with you is it put a face on the people who will benefit from this legislation. You see, the other day when the Assembly passed and the Senate had passed not too far before that, my staff said, you know, what are you going to say about this? What's your comment going to be? Are you going to thank the legislature for a political victory, or you thank them for passing this legislation? I said, no. I appreciate it, but I said that's not the reason I'm going to thank them. The reason I thank the legislators who are here and those that you represent was simple. I thank them on behalf of the hundreds, if not thousands of people who in the next several years, particularly people with skills who will benefit both from working at the mine and working on things related to the mine, like the work that you do here, from the thousands of people working today and thousands more who will benefit in the future because of this bill and this legislation and ultimately a mine moving forward in northwestern Wisconsin. Because it's not just about helping Iron County, which needs it. Iron County has the second highest unemployment rate in the state of Wisconsin, second only to Menominee County in the northeast part of the state. This will do tremendous good for the people of Iron County. They came today in Rhinelander and brought me a large-scale piece of iron, a big stone, that had magnets on it and everything else as a thanks. So members of the county board, mayors from Hurley and Montreal and other places, local government officials, business leaders, Chamber of Commerce, others from Iron County said thank you because of what it means to them. But we also know here, whether it's here with the P&H brand that Joy Global builds, or some of our neighbors down the way in South Milwaukee, or even companies like Monarch, which are suppliers in the Northwest and others out there, the northwest part of Milwaukee, there are people who will benefit in Milwaukee, in Prairie du Chien, in Clinton, in the town of Scott, and just outside of Green Bay, and Eau Claire, and Wausau, and places all across this great state because of this legislation. Some 3,000 construction-related jobs are predicted from North Star Economics analysis of this legislation. 3,000 jobs that are part of construction, and another 2,800 jobs that are permanently a part of the operations and the ripple effect that comes from the operations of this mine That's an awful lot of people we're going to be putting to work. And they're good, sustainable, family-supporting jobs that go on from one generation to the next. That's what this is about. That's why you see such a wide array of business and labor, politicians and public officials and private individuals as well coming together for this legislation. So we could not be more excited. The last thing I just say is it's not just about mining. You know, and this is going to be a good way of balancing both preserving our economic interest in moving these jobs forward and still doing it in a way that's environmentally sound. Because we want clean air, clean land, clean water. We understand, in addition to mining and manufacturing, that agriculture and timber and tourism are all key parts of our state's economy. So we want to protect all that as well, and that's exactly what this legislation enables us to do. But it also sends a message beyond just the mine. This sends a powerful message to employers here and to others looking to come here. But you know what? We're going to roll up our sleeves, and we're going to find time and time again a way to help employers that want to grow jobs here and put people to work here. We're going to find reasonable ways to get things out of the way, to stop the obstructions that others have put in place in the past here and across the country. We're going to find reasonable ways to clear the way so that more people can come to the state and grow in the state and put people to work in the state. That's what this legislation is all about. It shows that once and for all, Wisconsin is open for business. Sign. I'm going to move over to the desk and ask everybody to come in close and join me, all the folks who are part of that. I've got a number of pins that I'm going to sign from the state, but I'm going to sign the first part with a pin from Joy Global here as well, since they've been such gracious hosts. Come on in. you.